Last week's comment video was so successful that I thought I'd do another one. Who knows, it may even become a regular thing again. So without further ado, let's get this comments video underway. Roll the titles. Hello all and welcome along to another comments video with me, Simon Dan. Thank you very much for joining me. Before we begin today, a quick word from me about today's sponsor, Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online. Whether you're just starting out or managing a growing brand, Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website, engage with your audience, and sell anything from products to content to time. All in one place, all on your terms. Now you can start a completely personalized website with the new guided design system, Squarespace Blueprint. Choose from professionally curated layout and styling options to build a unique online presence from the ground up, tailored to your brand or business and optimized for every device. Easily launch your website and get discovered fast with integrated optimized SEO tools, so you show up more often to more people and grow the way you want. And if you've got a shop, you can make checkout seamless for your customers with simple but powerful payment tools. Accept credit cards, PayPal and Apple Pay, and in eligible countries offer customers the option to buy now and pay later with Afterpay and ClearPay. And you can measure your end-to-end online performance with powerful website and seller analytics. Get insights on top traffic sources, understand how your reach is growing, track sales metrics and learn where to focus new engagement. It's all the data you need to scale your brand or business. Fully integrated and clearly displayed. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial, then when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/SimonDan to get 10% off your first purchase of any website or domain. Right, on with today's video, which as we know is another comments video. This time the comments are split between YouTube and the Facebook page. Let's start with the YouTube comments first. And the first one comes from the AnisGuy153, who says, "Why does Simon Dan look like he was made by AI at the beginning?" Now this comment was from last week's comment video. Let's have a look at what I looked like at the beginning. Yeah, I do not look great, so I'm not surprised you thought it was AI. Moving on, and the next comment comes from Toxic7829, who says, "I can't be the only one wondering how many clothes Simon Dan has, as you can clearly hear, year after year, his washing machine going in the background of his videos. Keep up the good fight though, my friend. Cheers." Yeah, my office and my studio is right next door to my utility room. What with my wife and I, plus the kids, we've got a lot of clothes. And a lot of running clothes as well. So yeah, next up to have their say is just a fellow truth seeker, who says, "It's obvious Simon Dan can't get a woman, so he's here making fun of the flat earth for some attention." Yes, so obvious. As I said a minute ago, wife of 13 years. Cheers though, just a fellow truth seeker. You can't be right about everything, I suppose. Next up in this comments video is DeanMan23, who says, "This clown sounds so vaccinated." Your point? What an odd one that is. I am vaccinated, yes, against a variety of diseases. And that's a bad thing? Dear oh dear, what a world we live in. Moving on, and the final YouTube comment this week comes from Yahoo Shannon67, who says, "The only work Dan has had done was the installation of the Adam's apple. Everything else was the same before the transition." Right. What's hilarious is, and I can guarantee this, there are people out there who probably believe that. Blows my mind. Next up, a quick one from Twitter. John Toshi Lokomoto has this to say. "At Simon Dan, you like experiment that involves you putting objects up your anus. We know." Do you really, John? Do you really? Seems like a very specific thing to know, to be honest. Have you just made that up? Or do you have evidence? Next up then, we're going to start with the Facebook comments. And we begin with Geordie de Baker, who says, "Simon Dan, so you really have such a bad life as a child that you have to live or bully content? Deaf at inbred you are." I'm sure you knew what you were trying to say, Geordie. My life as a child was fine, thank you. All I'm trying to do is rid the internet of misinformation. That is all. Next up, we've got Stephen Parry, who says, "Skidmark Dan and his army of 600,000 AI chatbots. What a dirty lying bee." He really believes that, doesn't he? Well, if it's any consolation, Stephen, everyone who I speak to about comments videos thinks that Skidmark Dan is the funniest name for me yet. So kudos to you. Okay, so moving on, we've got Keith Cameron Smith. Now this comment comes directly after I asked him who I am paid by, because he accused me of being paid by someone. "Simon Dan, Well, YouTube for one, for sure, then possibly Grumman and or not a space agency, but probably just YouTube because you don't promote the rockets and fake space much. Anytime you want to have a public discussion, let me know. You seem to be a coward by taking short clips of people's videos and not showing the entirety of them and addressing other points. How much have you earned from YouTube on your Flat Earth related videos? You're propped up by the algorithms and you'd have nothing without us. Flat Earth is truth, the globe is a lie, and by the way, the 24-hour Antarctica sun was faker than the moon landings. Oh wow, the 24-hour sun from the final experiment has really hit a nerve there, Keith, hasn't it? His desperation is for all to see in his comment. Saying I'd have nothing though without you is probably true. I probably wouldn't. So how does that feel then that you helped create me and this channel? Great, I expect. Okay, next up to have their say is David Ray, who says, how did you personally verify the authenticity of the James Webb image, Simandan? Describe the methodology that you used. Well, I obviously didn't do that, did I, David? But that doesn't mean the images aren't real. Do you personally verify the authenticity of the milk in your tea? Or do you just believe that it comes from a cow? What about when you eat an egg? Do you personally verify the authenticity of it by making sure a hen has laid it before you eat it? You get my point. Next up to have their say is Brian Valentine, who says, perpetuator of lies equals Simandan. Why are you even on social media anymore? You were proven to be a fraud along with the rest of your final fraudulent experiment cult who knowingly lie about creation and earth shapes. Facts. I'd like to see the information regarding me being proven as a fraud. Would love to personally verify the authenticity of that if I'm honest. Email me, Brian, and I'll have a look. Thanks. Moving on, we've got Sean Stevens, who has this to say. Simandan, you're a schmuck. Now that one's actually hurt. How dare someone use a Larry David insult on me? I won't be able to watch Curb Your Enthusiasm again with the same vigour. What a shame. Thanks, Sean. Okay, next up we've got Bill Metzner, who says, Simandan, Scammerdan is a paid Jew Khazarian. Well, as a white British atheist, I think that one misses the mark quite widely, doesn't it? Now moving on, we've got the most prolific troll on the Facebook page, Smuts Van, who says, and be ready for this one, no Simandan, aka Simon Dumdan, aka Runner, aka Loser. He meant your Mickey Mouse science. In normal people, it's called Dunning-Kruger effect. When diagnosed in you and other globers, it's called Dunning-Kruger disorder. Tell us again how level is a circle and a parallelogram is actually two concentric circles. That is demonstrating the Dunning-Kruger disorder in you and your clunkers who believe you. Even my Polly wants a cracker is laughing at your disorders. By the way, clunkers don't come regurgitating the Danny Boy Dunning-Kruger disorder-induced ramblings. Try to be coherent and intelligent, or be like a bot, quiet. Sometimes you've just got to sit back and stare at the nonsensical ramblings, haven't you? This is one of those times. Anyone have any idea exactly what Smuts was on about there? Right, our final comment is actually a private message sent to me over TikTok by the fittest flat earther. His name is Tyler, and he says, Dan, we both know what you are and what your gig is. I understand you have bills to pay, but there's money in truth too, my friend. You sleep better at night too. There's always time to change your ways and heart. I'll pray you do. There is money in truth, Tyler. You are correct, but your perspective is not. As for who I am and what my gig is, I guess only he has the answer to that one. Right, well there we go. Another comments video all done and dusted. Please let me know in these comments below if you enjoyed it, and if you want to be on next week's episode, then have at it. Thanks so much for watching today. It is, as always, appreciated. If you enjoyed it, please do consider subscribing to the channel. Hitting the thumbs up button too as well would be great. And if you really liked it, then sharing as well would be hugely appreciated. Just enough time for another word from me about today's sponsor, Squarespace. Go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and then when you're ready to launch, squarespace.com/Simandan to get 10% off your first purchase of any website or domain. I've been Simandan. Have yourselves a cracking day, and I'll see you tomorrow for Kyle Adams. See you then.